Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 5th day of February 2025. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you're all safe and healthy and that your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with first responders who every day are risking their lives, oftentimes, to save human lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage, the dirty work of keeping our places clean, and those that also make deliveries, the humble work of making deliveries for UPS, FedEx, and the United States Postal Service for our convenience, oftentimes also putting themselves at risk. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover people that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who make money from these things. And double curses on all the perverts that drive the demands to have these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, senior citizens, homeless in the United States of America. And millions of people around the world that's even in worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night in Toronto, Canada. The New York Knicks defeated the Toronto Raptors 121-115. Another gut check type game. These games are preparing the Knicks for the playoffs. In the playoffs, even the team that gets swept 4-0, right? During the course of each game, it's not usually a blowout. It's usually a strategic gut up win. And so gut check wins, grinded out games are playoff style basketball. And the Knicks are built for that. See, Tom Thibodeau has never had a team this talented in his whole head coaching career. The team that came close to having this type of talent, Tibbs wasn't the head coach. He was an assistant. He was the defensive coordinator for Doc Rivers in Boston. That team was very talented because you're talking about Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, so on and so forth. Big Perk, all of them. But as a head coach, he has not had this type of talent. Like people like to bring up Derrick Rose, but that's just one guy. He developed Joakim Noah, who couldn't even shoot the ball, into Defensive Player of the Year. So this is the best team he has had. Now, all of Tom Thibodeau's teams get better as the season goes on because he's a defensive, leaning toward defensive coach. And this is the time of year for the Knicks. And his teams are built to be able to grind for the playoffs. With the crew he's got now, with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, guys like that, it's built for that type of grind. And right now, last night's win was a great win. I don't want to say the greatest of the season because there's a lot of great wins this season and the season's not over yet. But it was a great win. And the thing is, I'm watching the game with my mom, right? And the Knicks are up 17 at the half. And I told her, I said, third quarter, the Lakers are going to give up. And I'm hoping that this 17-point lead is padding enough for them to withstand the run that's coming. Because you could see there's patterns to the games. Sometimes the Knicks start off with bad energy in the first quarter and you know that they're going to have a problem and they try to come back later. Sometimes they start off with good energy and then the energy wanes in the third or the fourth quarter. Sometimes they just wire-to-wire beat a team. Last night, it was one of those, we start off strong with energy waning, and you kind of knew because they had just played the night before, whereas Toronto had just beat the Clippers on Sunday, and we're waiting for the Knicks in Toronto on Tuesday. The Knicks had just, as we know, played Monday night, and then had to fly out and come to play Toronto in Toronto. R.J. Barrett was out. We hope and pray for R.J. Barrett's return, man. They showed the replay of the game on Sunday against the Clippers, where his head hit the ground very hard. He was out for concussion protocol. We pray that our guy RJ, once a Knick, always a Knick, recovers quickly from his concussion. He got now that he's on a protocol, so he's not playing. I don't know what the exact rules of the protocol, but I know he's got to sit out for a while, go through tests and stuff, because his head hit the ground. His head bounced off the ground like a ball on Sunday. So I hope he's okay. But as far as the Knicks, so they're up 17 going into the half. And I was just hoping that the 17-point lead was enough of a padding so that when they start losing energy in the third quarter, they could withstand the Toronto run. And that's exactly what happened. And I was telling my mom, I said, you were right. I said, yeah, because this is the second night of back-to-back. So you started to see it in the second half when a few of the guys shot air balls. Deuce shot one. Brunson shot one. I think Gato shot one. And then they started shooting and hitting the front rim. Brunson shoots a three-pointer and it just barely grazes the front of the rim. And I said, see, that they're losing energy in their legs. So at that point, they have to gut out a win. It's like if you've ever run, like one time I ran cross country at school when I was in school. And I hated it because I hated running distance, and I started feeling like I had nothing left. And I would kick real fast at the end, not because I had some tremendous finishing kick. I just wanted the agony to be over. So I thought how quick as I could get to that finish line, this thing will be over. So, but those are times when you got to reach in deep and get something you don't know if you got it or not. The Knicks have been doing that. And last night, once that happened in the third, now we know what the game is in the fourth. Can we withstand it? Now, the Toronto cut the lead, I think, to 3 at one point. The lead had gone, the lead, they had a 6-point lead. The lead had gone to 23, and they cut it down to like 3 or 2 or something like that. And the Knicks kept responding, and Brunson was the leader of that. But then there was Josh Hart, too. Josh Hart, gut check time, he came with the energy that you want to see. The good thing is, like, we knew yesterday, we talked about this yesterday, coming into the game, the Toronto Raptors, Poto could not guard Karl. No 5 could guard Karl Anthony Towns. So what teams are doing, as we saw, a lot of y'all already saw it, they're putting a smaller guy on Towns, because Towns is a 5 that can shoot the 3, so he'll be out at the 3-point line also, as well as underneath the basket. So they're putting a smaller guy on him who's more agile, okay? And they started doing that last night because Poto had his hands full, as we knew he was going to. He played 15 minutes, and Gato just destroyed him, and then they tried to put Kelly Olynyk, and that didn't work out well. So you're going to see teams now try to put smaller guys, not tiny guys, but somebody that's like 6'8" with more agility on Gato. And then when he gets under the basket, they'll double him. That's what you're going to see. Now, the key and the counter move to that is that when they're doubling Karl Anthony Towns, or they got a smaller guy on him, that means 2 things. That means if they have a 5, let's say they have Jacob Poto, or they got Kelly Olynyk or Mogbo, they got one of those guys, they're going to have one of those guys on the floor. Now, the Rockets went with 5 guys. The tallest one was 6'8" in Tari Eason. That's how they started the game, which was slick. That was slick. But the Knicks prevailed. But the key here is if they have a big man on the floor and they're trying to guard Gato with a guy that's 6'8", and their big man is guarding somebody else, whoever that big man is guarding, got to take advantage of them. So if the big man is guarding Mikal Bridges, then you get the ball to Bridges and let Bridges attack. You get the matchup that you want, and you get your attack there. If they have, like the Houston did, you got 5 guys, and the tallest one 6'8", okay, now you get an attack, the rebounding, you attack the glass, because they got a height disadvantage. So, and then of course you still look for Gato on the low post. Now last night, it worked out in the sense that Gato had 27, but he had 20 rebounds. He had like 11 rebounds in the first quarter. It was like ridiculous. They could do nothing with him, And he shot the ball very well last night. 10 of 19, 2 or 3 from 3, 5 of 5 from the line. But even he started feeling that fatigue in the second half, in the third quarter. So they gutted out a win. And the interesting thing was, the Houston game, when Mike Breen shouted out his famous bang, Brunson hit a 3. last night, Brunson hit a three from the exact same spot. It was the same spot. And when he rose up from there, I said, that's going in. Because he had just hit that the night before from the exact same spot. He bent his knees, and that's the thing. When they started getting tired, Brunson was cognizant, and you saw him put more effort into the shot, because he knew he was tired. So he would put more legs into the shot because he knew his legs was tired. And it was working. So last night, the Knicks, again, the team, and let's give some shout outs to Hoop Porty. Hoop Porty played 19 minutes last night. Now, the reason Hoop Porty's playing more minutes, they're getting ready to trade Jericho Sims. That's what the deal is. They're getting ready to trade Jericho Sims. And then Mitchell Robinson, yesterday, Ian Begley reported that teams have said the Knicks are not talking to anybody about trading Mitchell Robinson. Teams inquired. This is the thing. And this is where people like to create content from stuff that's not there. Teams inquired about Mitchell Robinson. Of course they would. But the Knicks are not entertaining trading Mitchell Robinson, especially now that he's been cleared for practice. The Begley said they just waiting for him to come back, which is what we've been waiting for, because when he does come back, it's going to be on. Now, what Hoop Porty brought last night more than anything was fresh legs. That was the thing. He played 19 minutes. He had 6 points, but it was +8, 5 boards, and it was fresh legs. He had the energy. He had the energy against Houston too, but they got him in foul trouble because he's a rookie, right? But it was the energy that he brought that really helped the Knicks. And that's what Toronto did last night. They countered with guys with fresh legs. They came back with Mogbo. They came back with Orlando Robinson. They came out with Agbaji. These guys all have fresh legs, and that's what was causing them to come back the way they did. But bringing Hoop Porty in there at that time was really good for the Knicks. And the tiredness, like Precious played 36 minutes last night. He fouled out, 17 points, 8 boards. He had a tremendous defensive game. And them 2 blocks, one of them blocks was really, he's got some tremendous timing. For a guy that's 6'8", right? He got the 7-foot wingspan, but I'm saying he got some really tremendous timing. And so I'm excited about having Mitch Rob back, because to me, that's going to unleash Achua. That's going to unleash Achua at the 4th spot. Last night, Achua did hit a 3. He was 1 of 3 from the three-point line. He's getting more comfortable putting the ball on the floor and shooting threes. And he already is an outstanding defender and rebounder. So you now, when you put him at his natural position, the power forward spot, you're going to see, you're going to unleash him. So you got Gato and Precious, and then you're going to have Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart and Deuce. It's going to be on. So they gutted out a win last night. It was big time. Now, big time game Saturday night against Boston. So the Knicks got 4 days off, so they're going to have rest. I'm hoping that Mitchell Robinson gets cleared for 5-on-5 at some point, and then maybe he makes his season debut Saturday, although it probably looks a little tight now. But I'm hoping he makes his season debut before the All-Star break, put it that way. Right now, the Knicks have played 51 games. There's 31 games left. That's just about enough games to get him acclimated, to get him in game shape. So I'd like him to play sooner than later. I'm in a hurry to get him out there. I know the Knicks are not in a hurry to get him out there. As long as his foot is healthy and his ankle is healthy, I want to see him out there, because I am not worried about him getting injured coming off the bench. To me, if he's playing starters minutes, that's where you're going to have a problem with him maybe being injured. To me, you bring him off the bench with Deuce and with either Hart or Precious, and to me, you're preserving his career. You're making him more valuable. That's why I'm saying, if it turns out the way I'm looking at it right now, with him, and they get the playoffs, there's going to be some hell to pay. And so if the Knicks make a deep run, see, like, Dallas just went to the finals last year, and them fools went and traded Luka Doncic. That was the dumbest trade I've seen in a minute. I could even understand, a lot of people were talking about they don't know why the Karl Anthony Towns trade went down. That was straight financial, and they had an adequate backup. You can't really replace Gato, but you got Juju, and then you get DiVincenzo, a Swiss Army knife, so you got something. But to be giving up a 25-year-old MVP candidate that you just went to the finals with last year For one first round pick in it, I'm sorry. That was stupid. Then they went and traded Q-Dog last night to Philly to get Caleb Martin. Okay, I don't understand what that was because Caleb Martin is locked into a contract about the same cost it's going to be for Quentin this summer. So I don't know what they was doing there. Listen, Dallas has been questionable on some of their moves. I mean, to me, it started when they let Brunson go. That was bad. You let a guy that's now starting in the All-Star game, All-NBA, you let him go when you could have had him for $55 million coming off your bench. That was terrible. So you messed up. You know you just messed up. Then you're going to turn around and trade your franchise player at age 25 for a dude that's injury prone that's going to be 32 in March? I don't know. Makes no sense to me. So with dumb moves like that being made by Dallas, I like our chances, y'all. So with Mitchell Robinson coming back, Precious Achiuwa, and like I said, you're going to see Mitchell Robinson, to me, his career extended. And if he can be as effective as I believe he's going to be in Mobb Deep, he ain't going nowhere. They're going to re-sign him. Extend Deuce, keep this band together and keep it flowing. Because look, this is the first year that you have McCall, that the whole team with McCall and OG are together. So check this out. After they make this run this year, you bring them all back next year. Don't change nothing. I know some of y'all don't like that because y'all just live for whatever to make changes on NBA 2K. But you bring that same team back, they would be favored to take the East next year. See? So, especially if Cleveland doesn't make it to the finals, Cleveland is supposed to make it to the finals. This is like what? Donovan Mitchell's third year there? They supposed to make it to the finals. Evan Mobley is now coming into his own. You got Jared Allen locked up. You're supposed to make it to the finals. If they don't make it to the finals this year, they fail. Okay? And don't let them lose in the second round. Not clean. Imagine if that was the Knicks. So if the Knicks make it to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals this year, and you bring back that same squad next year, yeah, they're going to be something else. So for right now, we just need Mitch Rob to come back and be on that Mobb Deep unit. And we could roll. Can you imagine? Mitchell Robinson, the best offensive rebounder. At least let's be conservative. Top 3 offensive rebounders in the NBA. The NBA is the best basketball league in the world. The most talent in the world is in the NBA. So if you're one of the top 3 offensive rebounders in the NBA, you're one of the top 3 offensive rebounders in the world, right? So Mitchell, you have him with Deuce and probably Josh Harder-Precious playing against second units. Yeah, we're gonna be all right, y'all. We're gonna be all right. So they now the Knicks are 34-17. They have won 2/3 of their games, 67% of their games. They have now gotten twice as many wins as they got losses. And now we got a tough one coming up against Boston Saturday night. This is the thing. Coming down the stretch here, the Knicks play Boston 3 times and they play Cleveland 3 times. Okay, so they play Boston Saturday night, and then they play them again at some point, and then they play in Boston Saturday night. When they play these knuckleheads again. We play Boston Saturday night, and we got them, we got them February 23rd, also in Boston. Of course, all of these games are nationally televised. And then you got them at the Garden on the last week of the season, April 8th. So we got them 3 times. And then we got Cleveland 3 times. We playing Cleveland at Cleveland at least twice. Yeah, at least twice in these in fact, all 3 times. We're playing Cleveland at Cleveland all 3 times. See, this is the time of year where it's like this, y'all. Bring it on. Let's get this done. That's all I'm saying. We're not fearing nobody. Bring it on. Okay? Especially we get Mitch Rob back in that Mobb Deep. Bring it on. Let's do it. And I'm glad we get to rest OG right now. We don't have OG, and we just won 2 straight. Okay? Why? Because we got Precious Achiuwa. See? So now we good. So let OG rest. And let him come back after the break with that grown-ass man energy. We good, y'all. We good. And then you got Mitch Rob. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all something. We don't need nothing. Some of y'all need to take the word trade out your vocabulary right now. Take it out of your vocabulary. Take the word we need out your vocabulary. Don't worry. Somebody was asking me last night, well, Amen Thompson's a really good wing. We should be looking for wings. No, we don't. Right now, we got wings. McCall's a wing. OG's a wing. Josh Hart's a wing. We got wings. The Knicks are in a position right now where we don't have to go get nothing. What we need to do is just chill. And if something comes up, if you see a wing out there, a nice young wing that you can snatch, do it. Okay? But you don't need nothing right now. What you need right now is health and continuity. You get that, and you're a championship team. But let's see what happens now against Boston on Saturday night. This is going to be interesting, y'all. I can tell you what, they better guard the perimeter, because you remember what happened earlier this year. Boston bombed them out the gym. So they got to guard the perimeter now. And they're going to have Kristaps Porzingis. But Kristaps can't guard Gato. And I'm going to tell you right now, Al Horford can't guard him either. It's not a question of offensively for us. Can we guard Boston? That's the thing. Can we guard them? And that's what we got to do Saturday night. Got to guard them. We're not going to have OG, but that's fine. I'm very comfortable with Precious. Very comfortable with him starting against Boston. So it's going to be an on. It's going to be on. So let's do our thing, y'all. Okay? Take the word trade out your vocabulary. Take the word go get out your vocabulary. And let's get the word championship in your vocabulary. Y'all enjoy it. We'll talk to y'all soon. Shalom.